If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Paul Elizondo on the show. He returns to action on November 22nd at Combate Americas Fresno, taking on Trevor Wells, one of the bright prospects to watch at 125 pounds. How are you, Paul?
Fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you on the show. We're 2 weeks away from your return. How are you feeling? How is training camp been going?
I feel good, man. After my last fight, we just kept the ball going and no injuries on that last one, and I feel great, right where I should be.
This will be your third fight with Combate, if memory serves me correctly, and there's been a lot of movement going on at the organization from, Univision, which is huge, DAZN. Now we just found out about a deal with Access TV that's going to kick off in 2020. I mean, Campbell McLaren is not the type of guy who messes around, and he certainly hasn't these days. Being a member of Combate, how cool has it been to watch all of this progression happen?
It's awesome, man. My last fight, Tito Ortiz just got signed with us, and it was amazing, him coming to my hometown, and, everyone's seen me performing in front of him, and, that type of limelight and spotlight that they bring to us. So it's good. I love what they're doing, and I love the entertainment part that they're bringing into it.
If I told you last year that Tito Ortiz would be fighting Alberto Del Rio in Combate, what would you have told me?
In a different universe.
I love it though. For some reason, at first I was like, but now seeing those two go back and forth, I'm like, they're going all in on it. I'm actually into it now.
Yeah, the thing about it is that this isn't it's entertainment, but at the end of the day, it's not choreographed in there. They still have to go in there and fight, so that's the beauty of it.
Completely agree. Be interested to see how that goes down, but let's talk about you for a minute. I mean, I love these stories very selfishly, and I'm sorry if this is a redundant question, but it's sort of a rite of passage here for guys and gals who come on this show for the first time. When did you find this great sport? How did this MMA journey all begin for you?
Well, my uncles got me into wrestling when I was 6. I was too small for football, too short for basketball, and that was, from 6 to 10 years old, I started to figure that out. All right, I mean, different playing fields. I get the sports. I mean, mentally I'm right there, but physically, I mean, gravity and physics plays a big toll in it. So I stuck with wrestling all through middle school, all through high school, did it in college, came back, and at that point in high school and college, I realized that MMA was getting pretty big. That was when the George St. Pierre's were coming up. Matt Hughes was already big, and he was a wrestler. My uncles got into it in MMA, so I started to put my foot in it. Got into jiu-jitsu right after college, liked it, gained a little bit of weight. I was good size for a 25-pounder, and I started training after that. I fell in love with it. It wasn't I wasn't burnt out of wrestling, but there was not really anything else besides the Olympics after collegiate wrestling. And I needed to make money, so fighting was the thing for me. That's what I want to do. It keeps me honest as a person, keeps me humbled as a person, and it keeps me climbing. I like the person I become.
I know MMA is a sport of constant evolution, but you've been a guy who has been winning impressively since your first amateur fight, seemingly. Being a wrestler, was it a real natural progression for you with MMA? Did things just click for you right away? Did you just sort of pick everything up from day one? How would you describe it?
I didn't necessarily pick everything up from day one, but I love the physical aspect of it. I finally remember how it was to be a fresh wrestler on the mats. Going to jiu-jitsu and going to stand-up for the first time. I mean, in my wrestling stance since I was 6 years old, I would have my right foot forward. But even as a righty in stand-up boxing or in Muay Thai kickboxing, your left foot would be forward. So that's one thing I had to adjust to, but it all has its do's and don'ts and pros and cons.
Did you know much about Trevor Wells when you got this fight? Being he's a fellow California guy like yourself, training out of Team Quest. Did you guys ever cross paths before? Did you know who he was?
No, he never fought for a promotion that I fought for. I believe he's more down south. I've fought a couple guys from down south before, but he comes from a good school, from what I know. I know he has great training partners. To be honest, man, I've been smashing through everyone that I've fought, and this is my. I've been trying to stay in Central Valley, for my friends and family, give them a show for the longest time, but they haven't seen me in a war yet, and I haven't seen myself in a war. I believe I got into more wars in practice with my training partners than I have in the actual cage. So when I had this opportunity, when the opportunity came to fight Trevor, I looked at it, and it's a good growing point for me. It's going to be a wall, and I'm gonna try to break right through it. And if not, I'm definitely gonna have a lot of lessons to be learned. So it's something I definitely need and want for this one.
He's 24 years old. He's coming off his first loss as a pro after a long amateur career. What have you and your team learned about him along the way as you get ready for this fight? Do you feel like you could get that war that you're hoping for in front of your friends and family?
Yes, yeah, I do, man. Ever since I started in it, I knew I had to get right into my stand-up, get right into jiu-jitsu, because one day I'm going to run into that wrestler who has the same abilities as me wrestling, and we will cancel each other out. And if I cancel myself out with that wrestler, it's going to be whoever, the cardio takes a toll in it, the stand-up game takes a toll in it, but then at the end of the day, it's going to be heart. It's going to be our heart that determines it, I believe. It's going to be a good one, man. He gets me excited. I love it.
Have you felt this way heading into a fight with a specific opponent before? That excitement level. I mean, obviously you want to go in there and win and have a great performance, but have you felt like this up for a fight before against a certain opponent?
It kind of diluted. In my amateur career, I went 6-0. So like going into my fourth fight and my fifth and sixth fight as an amateur, it was more like, well, I definitely know I could smash them if I just wrestle them. If I want to make it entertaining, let's try to stand up. But I've realized the risk versus reward is not there right now. I have to get that record up, give me my big paychecks, and then we can see some wars. But if they want to, chump change, then I'm gonna try to get in and out nice and clean. But my pay has been going up, and I've been wanting to take a little bit more risks. And as a career standpoint, I feel like he's the matchup for me right now. Save Mart Center in Fresno. I almost sold this place out last time. This time I'll definitely sell it out, and I just need a good dance partner.
So fair to say there's going to be a large community of Elizondites in the Save Mart Center.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, even my training partners, we have about 4 or 5 of us on that card, and we're all from the Central Valley. Stephen Bollinger's on there also, and that guy's a killer. He has a good fan base in Fresno and Clovis, so it's going to be good, man. We're all going to be on that card, and it's exciting. I'm excited now.
Is Fresno really the best little city in the USA? Like, I've never been, but when a claim is made like that, I'm intrigued by it, to say the least. Is that legit? I mean, you're from the area, you might be a little biased, but why is it the best little city in the USA?
You know what, man? A lot of people here like to complain a lot and say it's not. But I went to college in Oklahoma, and that weather forecast, those little, I mean, 30 minutes ago the sun was out, and now we're having a tornado warning coming up. And in Fresno, it's a small city. We're 2 hours away from the coast, 7 hours away from Reno. You could take we have a airport here. We could go anywhere we want. So a lot of us are spoiled and we don't know what we have, but I love it. I love that the taxes are fine here. You get what you pay for. So I love it here. If they complain, they can leave. It's more for me.
So you feel some people take Fresno for granted?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Maybe they don't push themselves in life hard enough or something, but yeah, I love it. My family's here. If I want to go to the beach, I could easily get up in the morning, head out there, and come back the same day.
You mentioned that this fight gets you excited, gets you fired up. You feel like you can take some risks and show off some new tools that you may not have shown in previous fights. What are you going to bring to this fight in 2 weeks' time that Trevor's just not going to have an answer for? Whether it's something from your skill set, maybe a mental or physical intangible, like what is he just not going to be ready for, in your opinion, come November 22nd, no matter how hard he is preparing for this fight? And he's preparing hard for this fight.
Yeah, I would hope so. Everything. I'm gonna throw everything I have at him, and a lot of things I don't even know I have yet because no one's brought that out of me yet. And I feel he'll bring the dog out in me. So it's going to be nice, and I can't wait to see it. I tell all my buddies, man, it's like, yeah, you guys will see it in the stands, but I can't wait until after the fight and I get to watch it.
How often, like after one of your wins, how many times do you watch it afterwards?
The night of the fight, I don't. I'm too busy after the fight. But maybe that next week after, I'll hang out with my family, with my dad and watch it. Go over it. Go over it with my coaches. And then by myself every now and then. So maybe 7 times throughout like 3 weeks.
That's not too bad. There's a lot of people who watch it like 5 times a day, especially if it's like a highlight reel finish or something like that.
Yeah.
I would probably do the same thing if I was a fighter.
Yeah, I try to dissect all the things I did wrong more than what I did right.
Are you like all other fighters that you're your own worst critic, that no matter how good your performance is, if everyone comes and tells you that was the most perfect performance you could possibly have, are you still dissecting and finding things wrong with it?
That's the reason why we're here. Yeah, definitely. Of course. That's the only reason why we're at the top. Just never stop growing.
That's true. It's what you got to do in the fight game and pretty much everything you do. So, $1 million question here. How does this all play out? How do you see your hand getting raised in 2 weeks?
I break him. Either in the second or the third round. Yeah, I definitely know he has good training partners, but it's practice is way different than the actual thing. I'm definitely going to find out a lot about myself. I'm definitely going to find out a lot about him, and same thing for him. It's going to be a battle of, I think our technique is right there with each other, but cardio and heart, I put in so much into this. There's no going out of this with a loss.
Now, with the career path you're on right now, I see both sides of the equation. Like, you're part of a growing brand with Combate. They just signed a new TV deal. Things are moving in the right direction. And there's something to be said about riding the early wave, so to speak. And then there's like the other side of the equation where you look at, where the UFC is at, the established brand, the biggest organization in the world, and the opportunities that could potentially be there. What kind of goals have you set for yourself in terms of your fighting future? Are you eyeing the UFCs or the Bellators, or do you see yourself with Combate for a long, long time?
Man, I really don't know yet. I'm young in my career. I'm only 3-0. I'm 28. However, I feel like I'm not even peaking yet. I have 2 part-time jobs still. I work in the morning, I work at night. There'll be a time where I'm not going to be working out all, and I'm dedicated to keep just pure fighting, and that's when stuff will really get legit. But I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not in it just to be a stepping stone or just jumping into the UFC and getting out and then having a hard time jumping back in. This is going to be a lifestyle for a long time. I give myself anywhere from 33 to 35 years old, hopefully. So, I try to take care of my body as much as I can. So wherever talks better money for me and better opportunity.
What do you do for work for your part-time jobs, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I'm a personal trainer, a fitness trainer. Actually, here is my first gym, Title 29. I'm here in the early morning. I get all those hardworking people who have the 9-to-5 jobs. I have teachers, lawyers, doctors. They all come in here at 5 a.m., 5 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Then they go handle their business, whether it's a full-time job or a full-time parent. No excuse for me. All these adults who are older than me can do it, and it gives me motivation to do it myself. And even in the afternoon, I do another gym, Level Up Fitness in Clovis. And it's just gives me that extra boost. It's like, man, these guys have worked all day, and then they come in and work out. There's no excuse for me to not go knock out an hour-long workout really quick, So it's good. I feel like it's a little cheating mechanism I use. Help others, and you'll get what you want. And day by day, it makes it easy for me.
Well, after this conversation, I'm going to have to go work out for an hour because you got me feeling all bad right now. Paul Elizondo, it's a big fight against Trevor Wells, November 22nd, 2 weeks from today as we record. Combate Fresno, a fun fight, 125 pounds. Paul, thank you for the time. Before we let you go, man, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
Yes. Shout out to my sponsors, Joni Safarin at CMS, Complete Marketing Solutions. She's always there for me. Casey Call at the Bodybuilding. Voodoo, Vidal, and Rudy, thank you so much. And yeah, at Instagram, you can find me at Paul Jr. 125 and on Facebook, Paul Elizondo.
Appreciate it, Paul. All the best to you on November 22nd. Great stuff, man.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.